NEMA is the technical agency under the Ministry of Environment and Mineral Resources. We are the environment agency. We undertake all the environmental laws, implementation of all environmental laws and policies, and therefore we are the technical arm of the Ministry of Environment and Mineral Resources, and we are the ones charged with the coordination. We undertake the coordination of the World Environment Day preparations and participation. And this is because also NEMA has a full department of education and awareness, which we use this as one of our forums to educate the public. We use it as an excuse to engage different stakeholders. The World Environment Day is marked every 5th of June every year. It is one of the environmental days in the globe, which is marked according to the global calendar. And the day was set aside way back in 1972. When the world realized that environment could not be assumed anymore, and we must consider environmental activities in all aspects of development. And therefore the day was set aside to create awareness, to educate the public on on the importance of the environment and what we need to do for the environment for that matter. It is also a day that we use to self-assess, so that we assess ourselves. What have we done already? We take the scorecard as a government. What have we done for the environment? What are the areas we've made successes? What do we need to do more? So it's also a day we look back and rededicate our commitments to environmental activities. And therefore, World Environment Day is marked across the globe by all nations. It is also the day, just for the history, that the UN General Assembly passed a resolution during the Stockholm meeting to create UNEP, an agency for the environment across the globe that can coordinate environmental activities globally. So in a way also, it is a day we remember the establishment of UNEP, and as we all know, Kenya is a host to UNEP, which is the United Nations Environment Program. And so it is basically a day we educate, create awareness on the importance of the environment. It's a day we look inwards and see what have we done for the environment. It is a day we project what do we want to do, continue doing for the environment, and of course we also assess the challenges that we are facing for the environment on this day. So the 5th of June is an extremely important day for Kenya and for the rest of the globe. UNEP formulates a theme that it circulates to all governments, so that particular focus or theme guides the activities that have to be undertaken. So each year we get a different theme, which they tend to base on priority environmental issues. We've had a theme for 3 years now on climate change, focusing on climate change, tree planting, reducing greenhouse gases. But now this year, we have the theme around the forests, because the UN itself has already declared 2011 as the International Year of Forests. So all themes for the environmental days are focusing on the issue forests. So the World Environment Day theme for this year is forests, nature at your service. So we're looking at how are forests contributing to our livelihoods, to how do they support the mankind. How do forests as an ecosystem give us ecological goods and services? Meaning, what do we derive from forests? And how are we utilizing it? Are we utilizing forests sustainably? What are we doing to safeguard and conserve forests? How are we increasing forestry cover? Because we know that our forest cover is barely 2% as a country. And therefore we are promoting activities, and we are promoting achievements that are being made towards increasing forest cover. we are also looking at the benefits of forests, and we know that forests play a very crucial role in the environment and in the ecosystem. Apart from giving us the daily needs that we derive, like timber, firewood, construction material, we know that forests also serve other invisible roles, like purifying, air purification, which is a natural process. Forests and vegetation, for that matter, absorbs carbon dioxide, which is within the atmosphere, and predominantly which is being released from human activities, like industrial production, vehicular exhaust emissions, and all these sources of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere are absorbed by vegetation and forestry in particular, because it provides a large surface area for absorption. Plants absorb carbon dioxide and use it for the natural process of food production, which is scientifically called photosynthesis. And so it is absorbed, and it makes carbohydrates, which we eat as food. In exchange, plants release oxygen. And it is for this one basic reason that vegetation and forests, for that matter, are very important, because it provides our own livelihood by gaseous exchange. And so we breathe in oxygen, and therefore it is in the interest of mankind that we safeguard forests, because they purify the air that we breathe, and this keeps us alive. And of course, other benefits of forests. We know that forest canopy reduces the force of the rain, allows water to sink, and because of this, we are able to safeguard soil erosion, against soil erosion, and also we are able to enable water to percolate into the underground, and we are able to charge our underground reservoirs, or which we call the aquifers. Why do we need to do that? Because we also abstract water from the underground, or our boreholes or our water wells depend on the reserves that are underground. And if we only abstract and we don't have natural methods of ensuring we are recharging, then we are depleting our underground resources. Forests also, catchments, become sources of our rivers and streams, and we know all the major rivers come or start, or branches or tributaries of these main rivers come from the forests, and because of that function of making it possible for water to percolate and releasing it slowly to the environment. So forests form very important catchment areas for the source of water. We have about 5 major water towers, as we popularly call them. These are the main catchment areas in the country. And top on the list, we know the Mau, which has been very much in the media. And the Mau is the largest forest catchment in the country, which has over 14 rivers radiating from it. Some of the rivers going across our borders into Tanzania. We have 2 rivers going all the way, like the Mara, and another one which goes all the way to Lake Natron. And so we have 2 rivers that go across the country, and we have other rivers that serve a wide range of area, from the Mau particularly, meeting the livelihoods of millions of Kenyans across all those districts that it traverses. And this is the case with other catchment areas. The Aberdares, the Mount Kenya, we have the River Tana, which now does all the hydroelectric power generation downstream, and many other rivers that I cannot enumerate. So forest catchment areas are very important, because they are supplying us water especially, and they are helping us to purify air and to mitigate to climate change, because we know that climate change is caused by the presence of these greenhouse gases in the atmosphere beyond the acceptable limits, and the carbon dioxide is one of them, and others. And so the presence of forests allow that the absorption of carbon dioxide, which we call the carbon sinks. So when we talk of carbon sink, we are, in other words, just saying, forests are going to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and sink it, hold it. Because when they hold it, it's in a form of carbohydrate, and it can be stored for a long time. in Kenya, we have many efforts going on, government efforts through the spearheaded by the Kenya Forest Service. It's spearheading a lot of reforestation efforts, rehabilitation of both existing forests and other areas that are being put into forest cover. We have engagements with communities so that communities take part in tree planting. We have programs that we are working with schools so that schools take part in tree planting, and the Ministry of Environment and Mineral Resources has partnered with the Ministry of Education to promote tree planting amongst schools, which we are popularly calling green school program. And we are also doing some activities as a Ministry of Environment in rehabilitating towns, greening of towns, rehabilitating river banks, so that in all these efforts, we raise the forest cover. You have had the debate that we are trying to push landowners, farmers, to devote at least 10% of their farmland to forests, to environmental activities, and basically forests. And the 10% should not scare farmers. The KFS will be able to give you the formula of, if you have this number of acres, what is your 10% on your farm? How many trees can comprise a 10%? So that we even have the minimum you should plant as a farmer, so that you can attain a 10%, your individual 10%. But the recommended forest cover for any country is 10% of the territorial area. So if we look at the Kenyan area, and we are like over half a million, almost 590 square kilometers, our territorial area, including Migigo, we need more. And we cannot say 10%, 2% is what we keep. We have to raise that forest cover so that we can start to feel the impact of an ecosystem service from a forest. It's a natural process. It is a healing process. We may not see it, but when the forest cover increases, then we start to see the moderation of climate, the mitigation of these weather variations. We start to see weather patterns stabilizing. And therefore, it's a long process. It's easy to undertake to do deforestation, which has happened. And we are saying that deforestation over many years has resorted to this situation. And so we applaud all the efforts that are being done across the different catchment areas, so that we really support this, and we bring up our forest cover, however slow, but slow and sure, so that we don't go back to what we have been before. So the whole agenda of World Environment Day this time is now profiling all that, the importance of forests, the distribution, the extent of forests where we are, the efforts on management, what is being done, the management strategies, the benefits of forests, the opportunities that are available through forestry, where even individuals can benefit. And all this is what we are trying to profile, so that people understand why forests are important.
KBC Channel 1, Kenya's watching.